So our final IPA is from Sierra Nevada. It's from a brewery in Chico, which is right around my hometown of Sacramento, California. It's not a craft brewery, but it's not a huge brewery, but a lot of people get kind of sheepish when they talk about how great they think Sierra Nevada beers are, because there's this idea right now that you have to love craft brews, and any other brewery just doesn't care about quality, it just cares about quantity. But Sierra Nevada, you know, it has the reputation for just churning out really great beers. So if you approach a beer snob and you tell them that you like Sierra Nevada, not much to worry about. So we have Torpedo Extra IPA. When you hear that, Torpedo, you think you're in for something. I don't know what I'm in for. I don't think I've actually had a Sierra Nevada IPA, which is interesting to me. But, so there are 3 kinds of IPAs. So the IPA is the overall style, and we've got some subsets: English, American, and Imperial. And when I saw this, they grow in strength in terms of bitterness and just the overall hop profile. That really makes an IPA an IPA, right? So when I saw like Torpedo Extra, I thought, oh, this must be an Imperial, but it's actually not. Which is good, because the other 2 IPAs that we tried in this little IPA series here were regular American IPAs, as is this. So we have a nice range to judge. Here it is appearance-wise. The head is still settling, and that might take a little while because it's a pretty big head. So just like a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, we've got more of an amber color going on here. And the head is more of a beige than the white that we usually see with an IPA. And the bubbles aren't totally uniform. Ooh, they're sparkly. But the head is creamier than the other 2 IPAs. And I think that this head is going to last till the last drop. Sorry about the dirty dishes, but we are human. Although my husband will kill me if he sees me leaving the sponge in the sink. Okay. So, like he doesn't watch his videos. Alright, so usually Sierra Nevada, I find that head is, you know, long lasting. We'll find out. In comparison to the Captain Lawrence, I really thought this was going to be more pungent in terms of the hop aroma, but it's really not. It's got a lighter aroma. But what sticks out is this spearmint smell, which is very refreshing, and I like it a lot. And it definitely has more of a hop aroma than the smutty nose, but it's less citrusy and resinous than the Captain Lawrence, but it's still earthy. And the mint, it's cool mint. You know, it reminds me of tea leaves, and that's something that you hear about beer once in a while. And I really like it. It's unusual. And what else can I say about it? Even though it doesn't have that initial bitter zing that I had even with the Captain Lawrence, there is more of a bitterness in the finish. And the mouthfeel, which is important, is, I think of the 3 IPAs that we just tried, this is the best. It's crisp, it's medium light, and it's smooth, and the carbonation is medium to medium high. So it has that not quite effervescent, but that spritzy sort of quality, that lively quality that I would want in an IPA, and that, you know, and that we would be looking for in an American IPA. So this is a really cool beer in that it's one of those beers that definitely is expanding my knowledge and appreciation of beers, in that it's not what I expected, but I really like it. I definitely thought it would be more bitter. I think it's less bitter than the Captain Lawrence even. And it doesn't have the same pungency in terms of the hop flavor. But it does have this great minty hop smell and taste and earthy hop taste, and the bitterness is there, and it's just very good. I like it a lot, and I'm surprised. Something this Sierra Nevada definitely has that I wasn't expecting, and I wouldn't expect generally from any IPA, is that it has this sweet character as the beer warms. It has this, it's like a honey flavor that really complements the bitter aspects, and it's really delicious. So that definitely adds some fascinating complexity to the beer. So points for that. A little bit later, and now I'm also getting this floral taste and this sort of very light vanilla taste. So this is definitely a complex beer with lots of layers, and I always appreciate that. And it's evolving, in the mouth, and I think this is my favorite of the three. It has the bitterness. Again, it could be more bitter, but it has the bitter finish, right, that we were lacking from the Captain Lawrence. But it also has the flavor profile that we were lacking from the Smutty Nose. And the flavors, I think, are very unique and interesting. So what makes this an IPA is the flavors are derived from hops. You are either going to have hop flavors, malt flavors, or yeast flavors. Hop flavor would be stuff that we've been talking about, like citrus, earthy, floral, resinous. There's all kinds of, there's going to be spiciness. And I think it takes actually just a lot of drinking beer to really understand what a hop flavor is. And I'm kind of relieved before my judging exam that I finally understand the hop flavor wheel, so to speak. But then when we're talking about malt, you're looking for the grains, right? And you're looking for toasty, roasty, light, bready, stuff like that. And then yeast will also give you certain tastes. And yeast is so cool. Yeast is fascinating, and that's probably why I love sour beers with wild yeasts. But yeast can give you all kinds of flavors, fruity flavors, for instance, and sour flavors, and barnyard flavors. So when you're tasting, I hate to use this example because Blue Moons don't have the best reputation in the beer world, but if you're tasting a Blue Moon, no one poured a bunch of orange juice in there, right? It's the yeast. That's what creates all of that fruitiness. And I mean, the same goes for a lot of these flavors that you would think someone might have dumped some extract of something in something. It's usually like yeast. Although you also have certain chemical reactions with the malt that will create caramel and chocolate, and so just beer, it's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing, but what makes this an IPA is the flavors that we're tasting are derived from hops. And that it is bitter. It's bitter, but it's not like crazy bitter. And maybe I would have thought it was crazy bitter back in the day. I'm just getting used to it. I don't know.